The future of money is a battle that's being waged right now. And depending on how this battle turns out is going to determine your future, your kids, and even your grandkids' future. So let's dig into this a little bit. So we have a big publication, a big piece of work put out just this week by the Bank of International Settlements, the BIS. Now, you might not know who the Bank of International Settlements is, the BIS. Most people don't. They are the central bank above the central banks. So, for example, in the United States, we have commercial banks, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Citibank, etc. And then over that, we have a central bank, the Federal Reserve. Well, then you have the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, the Bank of Japan, etc. And then you have a central bank above that, which is, some think of the IMF, and above the IMF is the BIS. These are the old bankers that have had control over the world for a very long time. And of course, they have a lot to say about the future of money and the monetary system. And so this week, they put out a massive piece of guidance. I haven't even got through the whole thing. I'll come back at another time with a full breakdown of that. If you want me to, you can leave me a comment. Let me know about that, because it's a lot of work to get through that and put that together, and especially boil it down into a short video I can give to you. But one of the things that's important about the monetary system is they're starting to tell us what I've been saying is the quiet part out loud, the stuff that they would typically keep from you, the stuff that typically makes us be tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists. They're actually just telling us this stuff right up front today, and that's a little bit scary. So let's look at my screen. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about here. So here's the paper from the BIS talking about the future monetary system. Now, I want to jump into this video right here, and we'll look at this video real quick, and let's go ahead and play this.
Trust in money remains the bedrock of stability. My main message today is simple. The soul of money belongs neither to a big tech nor to an anonymous ledger. The soul of money is trust. And central banks have been and continue to be the institutions best placed to provide trust in the digital age.
All right, so let's talk about that for a second. The soul of money. First of all, money doesn't have a soul. Humans, we have a soul. Money has no soul. Money is simply a tool that we use to help us exchange for goods and services that we want. That's it. It's a medium of exchange. So think it has a soul is completely ridiculous, and just shows how out of touch they are. However, he did say some stuff that was important, and he said that the soul of money is based on trust. And with that, I would definitely agree. It's based off of trust. All right. Think about trust. I've talked about this many times on my videos. Trust is very, very fragile. It's one of those things that you could start to be losing trust in a friend that you think is doing something behind your back, or a business partner that's embezzling from you, or a wife or a husband, boyfriend that's cheating on you. And you're losing trust. You're being suspicious. And then you find the evidence, and then trust is gone. And it doesn't just come back. Once it's gone, it's gone. And so what he's saying is that the soul of money is based off of trust, and so money takes trust. We have to trust that if I give you my good for this money, I have to trust that somebody will take that money from me at another time. We can see when trust is lost in the money, like in Venezuela, where the money has lost its value so fast that people don't even pick up the money off the street. It's literally laying in the street. It's something Ludwig von Mises, the father of the Austrian School of Economics, talks about in the crack up boom. And he says that then suddenly people realize that the money is intentionally being devalued continuously. And then they no longer trust it, he says. And then they're trying to get rid of the money as fast as they can. When trust is lost, he talks about it. And so to their point, I would agree it's based off of trust, but I want to show you a couple reasons why we can't trust them and what a much better system is. So let's take a look at this. So if you see on my screen here, here's a little tweet I pulled up. The U.S. government has defaulted twice, one in 1933 and then once in 1971. So let's just take a look at this right here. You maybe don't know this, but the Federal Reserve was created in 1913. They created both the Federal Reserve and the IRS at the same time. Interesting, isn't that? Let me tell you why. So the Federal Reserve was created to print fake paper, counterfeit dollars, and back then, they were supposed to now accept that as money. Who the heck is going to accept this fake fiat paper as real money? Nobody. But I have a good idea. Here's what we'll do. We'll have a good plan. We'll create the Federal Reserve with the fake money and the IRS at the same time. And then what the IRS will do is we're going to pass a rule that says that you have to spend all year going around and collecting these fake counterfeit pieces of money just so you can return them to us at the end of the year. Oh, and if you don't, by the way, you're going to jail. And so they did that. So in 1913, they started printing all this fake paper. And we were supposed to go capture it and send it back to them at the end of the year. Well, from 1913, they started printing these IOUs that were supposed to be backed by gold, meaning I could take these paper certificates anytime, I can go to the bank and I could redeem them for gold. The problem is that from 1913 to 1933, they printed way too many of these paper gold certificates. So back to the BIS saying it's based on trust. Sure, we trusted the banks and we put our gold in the banks. We trusted them. We gave it all to them. We trusted them to use these paper certificates that were supposed to be backed by gold. We trusted them that they told us that anytime we wanted, we could redeem these paper gold certificates for the actual gold. We trusted them. We did. Money relies on trust. We trusted them. But in 1933, as you can see on the screen right here, under executive order of the president, the banks were shut down. All the gold that you had in the banks was seized. It was taken. Your money, your wealth was gone in a blink of an eye. And even worse than that is if that wasn't bad enough to steal all your money, they gave you $20 per ounce of gold that was in the bank. And as soon as that was done, they turned around and revalued the gold at $35 per ounce of gold. So not only did they steal your real money, they devalued you by 60% at the same time. But you trusted them. Money was based on trust, and you trusted them. And where did that get you? Okay, we'll forgive you, right? We'll forgive you. Let's try it again. You're going to be better this time, right? So now we can't hold gold. Now we just have to trust that the dollars, the paper certificate dollars are backed by gold. We have to trust that. And other nations, 1944, we go into the Bretton Woods Agreement. Other nations trust that the dollar is backed by gold. But 1944, 1950, 1960, again, the government, the Federal Reserve, we trusted the central banks. We trusted, again, printed way too many paper certificates, again. And other nations around the world, Americans couldn't do it because we weren't allowed to hold gold anymore. But other nations were like, hey, you've printed way too many of these paper certificates. We don't want these anymore. We want the gold. So here, you take the paper back, we'll take the gold. And the United States was getting rid of a lot of gold trying to defend that peg. What have I been telling you about defending pegs over the last couple of weeks? All pegs are meant to be broken. So they're defending that peg. And finally, I think it was France came over with warships and said, give us the gold. And President Richard Nixon, 1971, where is it right here? Richard Nixon, 1971, said, nope, no more. We're done. We're not giving you the gold back. So again, we, the people, and the world trusted the United States, trusted the central bankers with their money. We trusted the money that would be backed by gold. We trusted that we could redeem those paper certificates for gold anytime we wanted. And what happened in 1972? Well, they defaulted. Nope, no more gold. So that's where trust got us. Now, since that time, 1971, we can see what's happened. Look at inflation has taken off since 1971. The consumer price index, you can see what's happened since 1971 because there was no longer any pretending that it was backed by gold. Up to 1933, there was at least some constraint like, oh, shoot, if we print too much, people are going to realize. Up to 1971, it's basically the same thing. Hey, governments are going to realize. But once they stopped pretending and said, screw it, we'll just print as much as we want, look what's happened in the last 50 years since we've come off the rails. So now let's go back to the BIS. So the BIS says there's a new monetary system coming, and it says that the soul of money is based off of trust, and we should trust central bankers. Okay, how has that worked out so well for us in the past? Now, as I've learned is that, like I said, trust is very fragile. It doesn't come back. And typically, if somebody burns you a couple of times, it's typically a good idea not to put your trust back into that person as they're asking for it. Here's a video that I want to play for you real quick. Let's hear what the head of the BIS, Carstens, has to say about the new monetary system they're about to roll out to us. Let's go ahead and play this video.
All our analysis on CBDC, in particular for the use of general use, we tend to establish the equivalence with cash. And there is a huge difference there. For example, in cash, we don't know, for example, who's using a $100 bill today. We don't know who is using a 1,000 peso bill today. A key difference with the CBDC is that central bank will have absolute control on the rules and regulations that will determine the use of that expression of central bank liability. And also, we will have the technology to enforce that. Those two issues are extremely important, and that makes a huge difference with respect to what cash is.
So there you had it from his mouth. They want to issue a central bank digital currency, a digital currency that gives them ultimate control. That's his words, not mine. They want you to use their, not even money, their credit system, and give them 100% control. Does that sound good? He's basically saying this: absolute control. The key difference with CBDCs is central banks would have absolute control. Quote, that's his words. And we're supposed to trust him. But how can we trust him? Like I said, over and over and over, they violated our trust. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to trust, I don't want to say, hey, I don't trust these central bankers, so let's give it to a different set of central bankers. What I want to say is I don't trust any humans. I don't trust mankind to manage this. We should have a system that nobody controls. We should have a system that's trustless, if that makes sense. Trustless, a decentralized ledger that nobody can control, nobody can manipulate. Nobody is ever tempted by greed to go and print too many of these paper gold certificates, like what we see over and over and over again. And of course, if you've guessed it, you know I'm talking about Bitcoin. But let me know what you think. Do you think we can trust a different set of humans, or is trust done? Or should we just keep trying over and over again? And if so, how many times should we try again? Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think down below. Of course, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you know every time I put a video out. Give me a thumbs up on this video if you like it. And that's it. To your success. I'm out. Since you've stayed to the end, I know you like this video, which means you're probably going to really like this video right here and this video right here.